I'm going to tell you today how you can use the latest 3D printing equipment to produce custom parts like this in less than 4 weeks. I'm here today with Ken from Lunia 3D, a specialist 3D printing company in the south of Wales in Cardiff. Ken, thank you so much for your time today. Just walk me through this fantastic project. Tell me about the history of it. Where did it all begin?
So this is actually an award for the Cardiff Life Awards. It's being hosted in the Cardiff Museum. So they wanted something with a bit of heritage, a bit of a nod to the museum life. So the reason why they approached us initially was because they wanted something a bit different for their awards. They wanted something memorable, not just a glass block trophy that someone's going to forget. So they actually seen one of the ones we'd done previously. This was for Child of Wales Awards, and this was done on an FDM technology. So having seen this, they had the idea of having something a bit more bespoke and a bit more of their own creative freedom. So we came up with this.
So walk me through the design brief here. Obviously, the problem with FDM is it looks great, but it's fragile. This needs to be more robust, but what are the challenges you have to overcome with this design?
So initially, it was just the design that was the challenge. It was coming up with a concept that the client agreed on. So having something that had, the Roman column design, and actually this outline is of Cardiff itself, the counties of Cardiff, the plaque.
Okay.
So that's a nice little nod to the location-wise as well, as it's being hosted in Cardiff.
Okay, so I get the idea. In your head, you've got the design idea. How do you convert that from an idea in your head to this physical component in my hand? What are the stages you've gone through?
So initially we started off just coming up with some ideas with the client, and we ended up just sculpting this in a software called Blender, which is like a soft form sculpting program. We initially sent off some renders to the client, which they approved of straight away. And then it was time to go into production and get some prototypes done to make sure they could sign off before doing the full batch.
Fantastic. So we've seen the design, you've used Blender, great piece of software, you've ended up with this 3D design. I guess the next step is to go to production.
Absolutely.
Let's go and have a look at the machinery that you've used to actually produce this part. Okay, so you finished the design, Blender's done some wonderful things, you've sent renderings of the part to the client, and the client's buzzing with excitement, they've approved the design. What happens next to go from that to this component?
So next steps is to export it as an STL file from Blender into the HP software, which then converts into a model that the printer will understand and be able to produce it in a 3D model.
But you've got a choice of platforms you can use. We've mentioned FDM earlier on. You're going to go with that platform?
No, not at all. So we are going to go for the MJF. The reason for that mainly is the turnaround time and the quality. So FDM is great for a lot of things, it's good for prototypes, but it can be fragile and it's a bit limited in the finishes you can achieve. Whereas MJF, it's strong, it's better quality, and it's got a better turnaround time.
So turnaround time, if you were to produce, I think 26 of these in total on your FDM machines, how long is that going to take?
Probably take a couple of weeks with the additional finishing that would be needed to achieve this quality.
Whereas this machine?
Whereas the MJF, we can do actually all 26 in a 16-hour build.
Let me think about that. What choice am I going to go with? This machine. Cool. Okay, so we've made the choice. HP software's loaded up, slicing's ready to go. What are the key steps that you go through to start producing these parts on the machine?
So the machine itself, as mentioned, is a powder-based process. So you can see all the excess powder here. So the parts are actually submerged within this powder, and they're self-supported using the powder. So there's no complications with support material or any orientation factors.
Wonderful. So we've produced the parts, we've got a build volume filled with high-value components, spare powder. Surely there's some processing steps. Now what happens next?
Absolutely. So obviously the trophies and awards themselves are actually covered in powder right now. We need to get that excess powder off, which the excess powder then gets used again in a future build. So we need to go and post-process that now.
Okay, Ken, so we're 16 hours down the road, we've produced this build volume of 26 parts. Inside here, there are 26 of these parts. Now, I don't want to be rude, I'm not going to be very happy receiving that particular award. It's a bit grubby, covered in powder. What are the stages you need to go through to go from that to the finished part?
Yes, absolutely, I agree. So as you can see, there's a lot of excess powder even on the build chamber itself. So initially what this processing station will do, will vacuum up all that excess powder and then get stored away for the next builds. Even then, so the parts are still quite dusty. It then needs to go through what's called a bead blasting process, which we use small glass beads with high pressure air, which blasts away all the excess powder and is left with a nice grey raw finish, which can then be finished and painted.
So let's talk about that. This has got a particular patina to it. It looks old, but it also looks premium.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you achieve that?
So initially, once this raw grey finish, we then spray paint it black to give it a nice base coat, and then we apply this metal polish on the top of it, which gives it that nice gold finish then as well. And we'll also do a clear coating process as well to give it that extra longevity in terms of resistance.
Okay, so we're close to a finished part. It's quite light right now. Any last stages to get
Absolutely.
this?
So naturally, this nylon 12 material is usually quite lightweight in itself. So what we do then, we add, we've actually hollowed this out. So if you look at the bottom, there's a hole ready for us to fill this with plaster. Gives that final luxury feel because it's got a nice bit of weight to it then.
Wonderful. So now we've got a finished part.
Absolutely.
And remind me, this went from original design idea to finished part in how many days?
Around 4 weeks it was, yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a unique service that only you can
Absolutely.
offer to your clients. What a wonderful piece of art. And for you watching this video, we hope you found it enjoyable and entertaining, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.